West African Institute for Film and Broadcasting. Apparently, we're just looking at some of the activities that we're going to do, some of the topics we're going to cover for the 3 days professional acting masterclass. So I'm just going to read them out for you to listen, and then you know that it's something pretty much interesting, something that will put you up for something really big. So the first day, we're going to look at the actor's truth. For the 3 days masterclass, we're going to look at the actor's truth, where we're going to look at realistic acting and living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. Because one of the biggest challenge we face as filmmakers is that most people don't make the acting real enough. You have to be able to be real, so real that people would not even be able to like, are you sure this is real or something? Acting is the only business where you do something and people believe you are that thing. You cannot be, and people will say, oh, this plumber is a pilot. No, when you're a plumber, you're a plumber. When you're a pilot, you're a pilot. But when it comes to acting, it is only a profession where you play to get paid. And if you don't make it realistic enough, then nothing happens, nothing good comes out of it. So we're going to be looking at some realistic acting. Of course, we're going to look at, like I said earlier, how to be living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. So we're going to look at some foundation of realism. Then we'll look at Stanislavski's and the Meissner effect. We're going to look at all that. We're going to look at the listening and responding exercises. We're going to do emotional memory versus emotional availability. And then we're going to find a balance. And apart from that, we are also going to do improvised silence in live scenes. So we're going to do a lot. On day 2, we're going to do the actor's transformation, character analysis, the objectives, the stakes, and the inner conflicts. In life generally, there are things we are pursuing in life to achieve, and some other times there are some things that we are pursuing within. There are some internal conflicts you have to deal with. So we're going to deal on a lot of stuff. On day 3, we're going to look at the actor's presence. So on day 2, we're going to do character analysis, actually, physical and verbal transformation for realism, then status and subtext, and of course we're going to do with walking realistic 2-person scene from a play or a film. We're going to adopt a play or a film. And at the same time, when we talk about character analysis, we're going to do character breakdown. Sometimes people just go into a role not really understanding the character. You need to understand your character pretty well for you to be able to play it. And apart from understanding your character, you need to understand your scene partner or your scene partners. You don't just get into a role. Sometimes you need to know the person's financial status. You need to know the person's originality. You need to know the person's, let's say you need to know the person's, where the person's originated from, for you to be able to play the person's asset better. You need to know the person's educational status. You need to know if the person is educated, if the person is illiterate, if the person is rich, if he's poor, if the person is slow to anger. You need to know a lot of stuff about your character you're going to play. Then in that way you'll be able to play the character pretty well. And apart from knowing your character, like I said earlier, you also need to know your partners. You need to know who they are for you to be able to pull a scene through. And apart from that, you need to know your character objective, you need to know the scene objective, you need to know a lot of things. You need to know the timing of the story, you need to know the theme of the story, the central theme of the story, you need to know the settings rather of the story. So there are a lot of stuff we're going to learn in the process of this 3 days masterclass to be able to help you master your craft. So by the time you get your hands on the next script, you're going to tear it apart. And apart from that, we are looking at the best 5 persons, the best 5 participants in this forthcoming masterclass. We have an opportunity to play in one of our upcoming mind-blowing blockbuster, the Merciless Mercy action crime series. That's something you don't want to miss. So I want to indulge everyone who's going to be coming for this masterclass to really be ready. And there are other things we're going to ship in, like how to cry on cue. There are some persons, if they want to cry in a movie, you end up putting water in their eyes, or maybe you know all the stuff. We're going to teach you how to cry on cue. We're going to teach you how to properly break down your character. We're going to also go into social media for actors. We're going to do a lot of stuff. So you're not going to snooze on this one. So if you're seeing this video, make a time with us on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of September 2025. Those 3 nights you will never ever forget in a hurry, because SNOWBERRY Films have got unflinching power for infinite creativity. And of course, we're partnering with the West African Institute for Film and Broadcasting, and they have the sure way to the galaxy of stars. So imagine the two slogans coming together. At SNOWBERRY, we have unflinching power for non-stop creativity, and at the West African Institute for Film and Broadcasting, they have the pathway to the galaxy of stars. So what are you waiting for? Keep a date with us on the 9th, 10th, and the 11th of September 2025, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then the remaining 30 minutes that will take us to 10 p.m. will be questions and answers, because if you take the lectures without taking your questions or answering your questions, it will be no lecture at all. So at this point in time, if you are ready to master your craft, then keep a date with SNOWBERRY Films in collaboration with West African Institute for Film and Broadcasting, and let's tear the city apart. It's the 3 days masterclass for actors, professional masterclass for actors. Right about now, I'm leaving again. If need be, I will come back. So right about now, it's au revoir from me, and we'll see after this time.